Shedeur Sanders' second NFL start answers few questions as Browns' offense goes stagnant in loss to 49ers. After helping lead the Browns to victory against the Raiders in Week 12, Shedeur Sanders faced a stiffer test in his second NFL start on Sunday. Windy and wintry conditions in Cleveland, and a significantly tougher opponent in the San Francisco 49ers. The result was a 26-8 Niners win and a performance that answered few questions about Sanders' long-term viability as a starting NFL quarterback. Sanders was mostly mistake-free, but Cleveland's offense was stagnant and ineffective, while mistakes and turnovers doomed any chance of the Browns competing against the superior 49ers. After throwing for 96 yards and a touchdown in the first half, Sanders did little in the second as Cleveland played from behind with a 17-8 deficit early in the third quarter. The Browns didn't score after halftime, and Sanders took a sack on 4th and 16 midway through the fourth quarter that effectively ended the game. Sanders misses on one deep ball, hits on another. Sanders finished his second NFL start, completing 16 of 25 passes for 149 yards with one touchdown and no turnovers. He took 3 sacks for a loss of 34 yards. Cleveland produced 251 yards of offense as both offenses struggled in blustery conditions on a 33-degree day with wind gusts reaching 36 miles per hour. Sanders had a chance at an early highlight reel touchdown, but overthrew Jerry Jeudy on a deep ball on Cleveland's first possession. Jeudy broke free over the top of San Francisco's secondary on 3rd and 5, but Sanders' pass landed well out of his reach. The incompletion led to a punt. Sanders had another shot at a deep ball on second quarter, and this time he hit. Tight end Harold Fannin Jr. broke wide open down the left sideline on 2nd and 9 from the San Francisco 34-yard line. With pressure from his blind side, Sanders lofted a pass that Fannin corralled at the 10-yard line and carried into the end zone. The touchdown was the second of Sanders' career and the first that didn't come, courtesy of a screen pass behind the line of scrimmage. The Browns went for 2 and made it after a penalty on the extra point put them at the 1-yard line, and the touchdown gave the Browns an 8-7 lead. That was the end of Cleveland's highlights for the day. The 49ers closed the half with a field goal to take a 10-8 lead. Then mistakes and an ineffective offense doomed the Browns after halftime. Browns go stagnant after halftime. Cleveland punted on its first possession of the second half, then gave the ball away on its second possession on a botched snap to Fannin on a 4th and 1 Wildcat play. The 49ers recovered the fumble and scored a touchdown on the ensuing possession for a 17-8 lead. Then disaster struck again for Cleveland early in the fourth quarter. Punt returner Gage Larvadain muffed a punt after Cleveland forced a stop. The 49ers recovered and turned that turnover into another touchdown for a 23-8 lead. And on second-half drives, when Cleveland didn't turn the ball over, it wasn't effective. In 5 possessions after halftime, the Browns tallied 60 yards of offense while recording 2 punts, 1 lost fumble, and 2 turnovers on downs. What's next for Browns, Sanders? In total, the effort added little clarity for a Browns team that continues to contemplate its long-term future at quarterback. Sanders earned a second start last week after leading the Browns to a 24-10 victory over the Raiders as Dillon Gabriel remained in concussion protocol with a head injury suffered in Week 11. Cleveland appears intent on dedicating the rest of the season to finding out if Sanders can be an effective NFL quarterback. Head coach Kevin Stefanski told reporters that Sanders will start again next week against the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, Sunday's result will leave the Browns with more questions than answers. There were no glaring mistakes or miscues from Sanders that point to him going back to the bench. And he made a nice downfield pass in difficult conditions, belying criticism that he doesn't have the arm to be an NFL starter. Those were the only takeaways from Sunday in Sanders' favor as Cleveland's offense failed to produce a competitive effort. The 3-9 Browns have 5 games remaining on their schedule to continue to figure things out. Up next is a softer test against a 1-11 Titans team that's the worst in the NFL.